And hello to all my Sagittarius friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for November 2022. Now today they've dialed up for you something very special that I don't get asked to do very much, rarely ever at all, and it's a relationship spread. At least in a general reading, they're extremely rare. Looking at relationship factors with one side versus the other side. One is obviously you, and one is another person. Now this may or may not be romantic. We're all in relationships with people, whether they're platonic, romantic, or more or less, or anywhere in between. So we're going to be looking at factors and characteristics that are in the relationship dynamic. We're going to be doing 2 of those spreads. Frankly, 1 is too short and 3 is too long, so 2 is kind of the sweet spot. We're going to be doing that today. It's going to be a very interesting monthly outlook. They've asked that I conclude your reading with animal totems, which is equally as fun, if not more. Animal totems are great. I put little graphics on the screen to kind of illustrate the points, and that's how we're going to conclude your reading, plus with a rune stone, which will bring the whole thing together very, very nicely. So Sagittarius, I'm excited to look into your November. I can't wait to see what is in store that they wanted to do a relationship spread for you guys for your monthly. So let's get started right now. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time, basically to save us all a bunch of time. What I'm going to do right now is bring you in so you can watch. I'd like to share my table with you guys so you can see what's going on. Where's my record button? There it is. Okay, now we are on and recording. All right, so these are my ritual cuts. Basically, we cut each deck into thirds, put them back together in a separate order. And that satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. It's the same procedure for personal private reading, so it's just like you're here with me now. And then they're ready to go. So the relationship spread number 1 is going to be on top. I'm going to do the middle factor first. That's between both sides. And on the left will be you. And on the right will be the other person. All right, the distribution is good. We don't have too many blocked. We do have some. Not enough to matter though, so that's actually good. So now you can kind of clearly see the 2 sides. Now maybe off the camera a little bit. I'll move it to get it in view better for you. Let me just make sure all my card work is done. See if that's a person. It is not. I'm still going to leave that here though. And then is this a person? Nope. So I'm going to leave that there. Is this a person? Nope. I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so we got our first relationship spread drawn. Now we're going to do the second one. Again, the middle first. And then your side here first, these 3. And then the other side, these 3. Okay, that's going to be a big one. I'm going to go major on that one. And is this a person? Nope. Leave that here. 2 majors there. Okay, we'll leave that how it is. Distribution's good. Inverts, okay, good. One guy here. One guy here for the major arcana cards. Any on the front end up there? No. So that's pretty much it here. Let me just make sure you guys can see it. All right, so I can see it's all over the place on the view. So basically, relationship number 1 is going to be up here, following my finger. This is the middle in between both sides. Here's the other side. Yeah. Almost had it. Almost had it. We'll do it this way. Here's the other side. And then the second spread, this is going to be our middle barrier, separating both sides. Here is one side here. I guess I'll give you another second to look at that there. And then over here will be the other side. Okay, guys, we're ready to go. You have seen it all. So let's get to work. Okay, I'm going to move this over a little bit, give myself some room to work. We're going to go up top first. Okay, now that I've made a big mess. All right, Sagittarius, what is between you guys here is busyness. We have busy activity. Things are going crazy, lots of activity. This could be, well, let me look ahead here a little bit, see if we got some cups going on. Not too many. Check the second story. Not really any there either. So if there is this is more probably the lover one than the other one. The other one seems a little bit more platonic, a little less romantic. Now up here, talking about your side, they show busy with a lot of work things. Work things are coming up very prevalently on your side here. We have a brand new business, brand new enterprise. Redecorating can come up under this sometimes too. Breaking ground with work, the work corner, work, business, enterprise, area of studies, collegiate courses, learning something new, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship. Basically, for most people, though, it is the JOB, new jobs, new enterprises, and so forth. That's what comes up on your side of this relationship. So that is a factor. Doing something new here. There's also a side of a little bit of mental anguish. This is the card that represents sickness, but it isn't always physical sickness. It is a swords. And anytime we have the suit of swords, it's very cerebral. It's a cerebral suit, so it means mental. So mental health can be there too. Mental health being an issue in the relationship on your side. Now there is an inaction going on with health or finances, and it goes into work actually. So I don't know if this is an inaction with. Let me talk myself through that a little bit because they kind of gave me a weird group. Inaction with money. Okay, so there's inaction with money on your part. I don't know if that is the advice or if they're describing what has occurred and what has occurred. Maybe you don't like to spend money. Maybe you don't like, the other person feels differently about that, something like that. There is a work barrier that is in between two places here, and you're having a tough time with it. It's also perceptive too. So basically, I got to talk myself through this one too. This is a challenging spread. Basically front to back, so back to front. So they want you to look small picture. They're saying don't miss what's right in front of your face, for the big picture. So there's something like right there, localized here. They're talking about a more, right here, right now. Not bigger picture, not, 10 years from now. It's like right now. So that can come up for a work thing because it is wands. When we talk about wands, we talk about work. And I go back to the middle card here, which is the busy boundary. This is what's pushing these two sides the way that they are. Now, more than likely, I guess I should have also told you that if a relationship spread is coming up, usually there is a tough here between two people. And, because if everybody was in perfect harmony, well, there wouldn't be any need for a relationship spread. We'd all understand each other just fine and perfectly and dandy, and things would be swell. But that's not the case in the real world. So, it's just part of life. Now, on the other side here, they do show that this person is making love action here despite bad luck. They call it bad luck, which basically means it's not the other person's fault, really. They're still trying to make action here. I don't know if this is action with you or if this is action with somebody else or what, but they're doing action here. So that's important for you to know because that is the main part. The bad luck part means that it's really nobody's fault. Not theirs, not yours. It's just, circumstantial. It's just like maybe the timing was bad. You guys met each other at a bad time or something like that. They also show that there is getting over some theft and loss here, or even kind of giving too much of themselves. It can really mean both definitions. Usually not at the same time though. So if it's one of them, it is getting over some deceit. Maybe this person has been deceived before. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was somebody from, 4 lovers prior, before you even got there, and it just, left a mark. And for whatever reason, maybe they're, damaged from it, damaged goods, and having a hard time getting past stuff like that. The other definition of it is, giving way too freely, almost like letting people steal it from them. So this person is likely a giver or that first definition. Like I said, usually not both. Now, there is a work authority that comes in here pretty good. So this person is pretty good with work, probably a very consistent job, very, makes me feel very Monday through Friday, 9 to 5-ish, very business-oriented type of person. And it doesn't mean that that's exactly what they do, but it's very structured. It's not just like, an artist, or an entrepreneur that's trying to put gigs together. This is somebody who has a very established kind of work life. And they also, they work hard for their money too, is what they show. And this is, they're pretty much just describing this person. I think so you guys know who to attach to this more than anything. But this is a hard worker. This is somebody who maybe enjoys her money too, who likes, material things, likes monetary wealth, stuff like that. So it's important for you to know that this person has either been deceived or, more than likely that's the definition, especially if you're, in a tough here or trying to understand somebody a little bit deeper here, something like that. So I'm going to get into the second story here because, I would go back to your side a little bit here, but if that's you in story 1, you mostly kind of know how you are, so and so forth. Story 2, relationship 2, I should say. That's going to be the middle. Okay, so if you weren't with me there on that first one, more than likely you are here. Or Spirit just wanted to pick on other people this month. You never know what Spirit's going to throw at you. Now here on your side, they show if this is the relationship between two people, for you, they're talking about freedom is occurring. Less constraint, more freedom, more mobility, less being tied down, more being loose to run around and do what you want. Okay. Now, on your side, they talk about inaction with making up your mind. Maybe you had a hard time making up your mind. Maybe you didn't want to commit to somebody. Maybe you, weren't really sure about what you wanted right now. Maybe you wanted to be single for a time. The other person wanted something else. They just show you haven't made up your mind about something. Now, this may not be love type stuff either. Like I just mentioned, this could be like not making up your mind with, wanting to move. Let's say this other person lives far from you. And they're like, hey, we really need to move closer together if this is going to work. And you're like, yeah, but I got this job and I'm not sure if I really want to do that. Okay, so that's kind of the energy of what's going on here. They do show that you have a tendency to kind of look at what isn't working opposed to what is. So that is maybe the advice from Spirit, is to maybe turn this around a little bit, look at the rewards and all the good things that you do have instead of always focusing on the things you don't. Okay, they do show a good home environment for you. That kind of even further reinforces my first little theory of what we were discussing. So a good home environment, good family environment, maybe that's what you want, maybe that's what you already have. That's what's being described. Now on the other side, much denser of a story, if you will. The other side is talking about this other person basically spreads themselves out way too thin between too many different things. Maybe they're doing 100 things at a time. Maybe they start too many projects, have a hard time wrapping them up. Just their energy's all over the place, and they really need to narrow it and hone it in. They need to bring it in, is what Spirit shows, and they're just doing this big wide burst, just like a shotgun burst, where we need a single bullet here. We need a pinpoint accuracy of where this is going, and not hitting every target in the field, if you know what I mean. So that's what comes up here first. Now they also show that on this other side that all that glitters is not gold. So it's not this other person is not what they appear to be either 100%. Maybe they put on a front, act a certain way, but the underlaying layers are not so. This may be surface level stuff. This may, basically saying that deeper down is, you unearth some things when you go deeper down. So at any rate, they're letting you know that not everything is what it appears with this other person. So it's important to know for you also. They do show that this other person is is being honest though. So even though everything is not what it appears, there's not a layer of deception necessarily. At least I don't feel like there is. I feel like it's more just or if there is, you're privy to it. It's not like it's being hidden from anybody. It's kind of like everything's out there with this person is what it feels like. Everything's out there. It's like, this is what it is. Take it or leave it. That kind of thing. The last thing that they show here, well, I guess I missed this card here, but change in the wind. So this is like a hurricane. This person is, they go through a lot of changes. They go through a lot of challenges. They could be very flighty, kind of like gypsy type, moving all the time, or, they're doing this and then they're doing this and then they're doing this job and then they're going to this job. And it's kind of the opposite of what I described in that first story, where we had the person who was very business oriented, 9-to-5 job. This is kind of the opposite of that. So we have a change in the wind with a very flighty person. And, it goes back to that, now I'm kind of wondering about your side of the judgment, the decision that hasn't been made. Maybe the decision that hasn't been made is hey, maybe I'm not sure if this is the kind of person I want, on your end, which would which would make a lot of sense, really. Now, the last thing that they show on this other person's side is the Three of Swords. This is the heartbreak card, and it's coming in inverted, so it's saying getting over heartbreak. Now, depending on how far along they are in this process is really the key, because I don't have that information right here. I don't know if they're close to being over this. And it could be say, example, an ex, let's say this person's having a hard time getting over an ex. Well, are they almost done? Or is this going to be a thing for some time to come? That would make a big difference between the two. So at any rate, we have getting over heartbreak. And of course, the context for all of this is going to be key to a general reading, because we do have a lot of Sagittarius is tuning in here, and of course Spirit does their best job to make this accurate for everybody, but at the end of the day, nothing beats a personal private reading. I do offer those on my website, scottsagent.com. Speaking of the website, let me go over your moon cycle forecast with you, because that's going to pertain to some of what we talked about today. And I like to give you guys that anyway, just so you know what's coming. The first thing that hits in November is the full moon, and that comes in November 8th. That's the best time to get anything out of your life you don't like. It doesn't matter if it's a person, like we're talking about a relationship between two people, or if it's a bad habit, emotional baggage, projects you got to wrap up, something you got to sell or donate. Any of that stuff is garbage truck universe. That's full moon stuff. Get it out early in November. You'd be much better off to do so. Adversely, you have the new moon that comes in November 23rd. Now that is the day before Thanksgiving, and that is the best time to bring anything brand new into your life that wasn't there before. It could be love. It could be something with work. It doesn't matter. The universe doesn't care. You're trying to bring in new money. You're trying to bring in new health, diet. Well, you don't really want to bring in brand new health and diet the day before Thanksgiving. At least I don't. So, that's why time is fluid, and there's a window of opportunity here. You don't have to do it on the 23rd. Just any time toward the end of the month would be just fine. Do it on Black Friday. Do it on the Monday after. Enjoy your weekend with the family. And then, you know what? Hey, now it's time to start that new diet, to start that new health program, to change up your eating habits or whatever it is for you. So anything brand new, much better place end of November. If any of this confuses you at all, or you'd like a graphic aid, a little illustration, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. It is on my website and it is free. Always. It's parked on my videos page. You go to the videos page at the bottom, there is where it is parked. You can check that out and see how these energies move in and out. And that's what the moon cycles are all about. Using the energies that are already there, because it's much easier to walk downhill than it is to walk uphill. And that's pretty much how this stuff works. Now, while you're at the website, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter program, because I just gave my newsletter, Great People, a free reading for November. I do that a couple times a year. I really take good care of them. Hugely hook up my newsletter, people. And it is a simple thing. It is free to do. It's at the bottom of every page on my website. I only send one newsletter email every single month. It's just for promo codes, updates, what's going on, and save you guys some money on readings. And we're always doing fun stuff. And speaking of fun stuff, make sure you follow the Facebook page too, because doing giveaways on Facebook every month also. So fun stuff all around. Make sure you sign up for all that stuff. You'll never miss anything ever again. Now let's get into your runestone, guys. It's going to be an interesting runestone after talking about all that. So let's see what we got. Runestone for Sagittarius. 2 want to come, but you don't get 2. You only get 1. It's going to be this guy right here. And this is Standstill. Standstill for my Sagittarii. Sagittarius is Sagittarii, I think. So, standstill. Speaking of standstill, this is the time, the month, to just, hey, you know what? We don't have to make any major decisions right now. They talked about not making a major decision here on your side of relationship 2. That's kind of the vibe. It's like, hey, just chill, just breathe, just wait. Let it play out in front of you. You're getting all the information. You're seeing everything very clearly. Going back to the first relationship spread, there was some bad luck involved there. So that's not your fault. That's not anybody's fault. Watch what happens, okay? Especially as that's very busy. That first relationship lineup there was a very busy story, so a lot of moving parts. Let things play out. This is not the month where you need to be making drastic, major decisions for my Sagittariuses that are going to affect you in maybe ways you don't prefer. Maybe these decisions are better placed later once you get the full scope of everything that is going on. So we have standstill for the sign, standstill. And that's energy that makes sense based on everything that I've read so far. Now, I did tell you we got to get some animal totems, guys. And let me pull those right now. Also need to tell you about the brand new product. Oh man, that's a big one. I should probably do that first. Let me just get these out. I can do that one and I can do that one. Very good. Okay, so the brand new product in the store are the t-shirts, sweatshirts, and other upper body apparel. This is good stuff, guys. This is wonderful. I'm going to be flashing designs up on the screen right now. We have 2 designs that are dropping in November in a bunch of different forms, men's, women's, the whole gambit. Bunch of different colors. 2 major designs though. Spiritual inspired attire. Now this is third party. So all the other stuff on my shop in the website is fulfilled by me. But this is going to be a third-party deal. My contract agreement with them is Bonfire. They do a very great job. So they actually handle the shipping. They do everything pretty much. So I'm going to link everything to that from my shop. You can access all of it very simply. They'll do the shipping, they'll do returns if you need returns, and they'll take good care of you. So those two wonderful designs out now. There's going to be 2 more at least, maybe more than that, coming in December. So Christmas is going to look very sweet. Everybody's going to be very nicely dressed for Christmas this year. Speaking of Christmas, the other things in the shop, we just opened that shop up a few months ago, and we've already got a few products in there now, doing one product every single month, unveiling to the world one new product every month. So we have the Scott Sagent Sage Soap still available on there. We have the Sunflower Potpourri and the Sunflower Mister. All great gift ideas too for Christmas. So let's get into that animal totem. I already pulled the card, so I just need to get my list here because I haven't committed these all to memory yet. So it's because I have so many. I have oh man, I should count them sometime. It's got to be 50 plus animals easily. All right, so we are looking at, and I just remembered too, I forgot to tell you about the messages from heaven. Can't forget that. We'll talk more about that after your animal totem, guys. All right, so the messages from heaven is after this, so let me hit this. We're moving from a coyote into a hyena. Interesting set of animals there. Moving from a coyote into a hyena. Well, first of all, a coyote is like a small wolf. It's actually on the same page as wolf on my list. And wolf is a teacher. It can be representing higher learning or teaching or being taught something. So coyote is just like a version under that. So it's almost like college classes, a prerequisite to something, learning something first before you take the next step, something like that. So the coyote moving into the hyena is more like, I think the focus there is the word laugh. Hyenas chuckle and they laugh annoyingly and obnoxiously, but you know what? They don't care. They're having a good time. So, in that same guise, move from being a survivor, which is what a coyote does. He just kind of makes his way and gets, he's kind of a scrapper. He just picks up what he can when he can, kind of like a jackal. Now the hyena also kind of lives that same way, so there's not a huge difference as far as animal stature or being high up on the animal totem food chain list there. But I think the key is to laugh. We're moving from an animal that is learning certain things, and now you just got to have a little fun. You got to have laugh. You got to have your little cackle in there and not take things so seriously, at least in November. This is supposed to be fun, remember, guys. So let me tell you about that messages from heaven, and I'll let you go. This messages from heaven is the most requested thing that I get, guys. In my 30-minute service, my 60-minute service, it is a huge part of what I do. And speaking out, getting a message from a deceased loved one of yours is priceless, really, to a lot of people. And this is something that I have practiced for a long time and do successfully on the regular, really. And this is for the first time now. It's available by itself. Usually people have to book my bigger services to do that in there. But now, let's say you just want to do that, this one thing. Now you can do that. It's part of the mini audio product, so you don't even have to show up for it. It is also available in a video conference setup like Zoom, but you do not have to do that. You have a choice, one way or the other. There is a promo video that talks all about it and shows you examples of me doing readings for people live, and very, very interesting look there. So Messages from Heaven is now debuting on the website. That is also available on the services page. So check all that stuff out, guys. I thank you for sticking with me. I know it's been a long reading and a very interesting one with the relationship spread, Sagittarius. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a great November as well. I know this has been a lot. Remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos too. And that's it. Have a great November, guys. Bye.